The Sacrifice of Anton Stacy by Christian Francis. First of all, I'd like to thank Encyclopocalypse for sending this book to review, or short story. This is sort of like a tale in the Animus universe, I guess. It's about two brothers, Anton and Jacob. Both are raised by a religious zealot, just simply known as the pastor. He's their father. Their mother died when Anton was born. And the pastor's an awful human being. He particularly hates Anton. Why? Because Anton is gay. When Anton tells his brother Jacob, which, by the way, the two of them are best friends, and they're like teenagers, I think. And the pastor tries to kill Anton and then has an aneurysm and basically is catatonic. Anton runs away. Anton hitchhikes his way from the Appalachian Mountains to Los Angeles, where he ends up becoming a big singer. Sort of like an Elton John type, I think, is what the vibe I got. Just like a pop singer, plays the piano. Well, years go by, decades in fact go by, and Jacob takes up the pastor's role as the new pastor of their small town, although now Jacob teaches kindness instead of hellfire and brimstone. Well, the pastor, their father, finally passes, and Anton and Jacob are reunited. But unfortunately, there's a weird mold that's killing everyone. That's The Sacrifice of Anton Stacy. What did I think of this one? It's good. It's one of those stories that has really good characters, but it's short story, and so doesn't really, the plot is kind of meh. I hate doing this. Christian Francis is a nice dude. I talked to him on Instagram the other day. He's just a really, really cool guy. And I don't like saying, like, I didn't care for this book, because that's not true. But it's weird. It's a great character study of both Jacob and Anton. They're both very interesting, lovable people. But the force, this mold that kills people in a really, really heinous way, I won't even say on here. I don't get the point of it. I don't. And I don't want to spoil the end, but you can guess what happens based on the title. It's pretty literal. That does happen, basically. But why is kind of, I don't know. There's an epilogue that, honestly, I wasn't a big fan of. It's an okay story. It's fine. I've read far worse short stories. And it's hard to write a short story because you got to be concise and to the point, but you want to have depthful characters. And this gets the depthful characters down, but the story, I think, is just a little too brief. But I don't know what else you could do with it. And also, my other thing with it is that it doesn't really seem to, at least at this point, doesn't seem to connect to the Animus Chronicles at all. Except for it's an unstoppable, otherworldly demon force, and there's some things with that. But, like, it may at some point, like, cross over into the Animus Chronicles. But, like, as it stands now, it just feels like a one-off thing. And I get this, as to my knowledge, was written between Everyday Monsters and Incubus the Descent. So I get it wouldn't necessarily tie into Incubus. But Everyday Monsters, like, after the end of that, like, is this with the, how's this tie in? Basically, I don't know. It's a fine read. You're going to get some great character stuff in it. Honestly, some of the best character stuff I think Christian Francis, at least in the stuff I've read, he's done. The characters are solid, but the story is just, it's alright. It's horror, I can say that, but like, I don't know how it connects to the Animus Chronicles, and I may have missed something, and I will say that. I could have missed something while reading this. But it's great character, I want to say character study, I guess, to characters. But as far as the horror, it's horror. It's fine. I give it about 4.1 out of 5 because the character stuff's really, really good. It's a weird thing. It reminds me of some of these Italian horror films like Dario Argento's Suspiria. Suspiria, the story makes no sense. It has a story, but it's based on like the visual, and you watch Suspiria or its sequel like Inferno, or I'm trying to think, like, and most of Dario Argento's works very abstract. It's visually a nice thing to watch, but you're not going to get anything out of it. But I still consider Suspiria to be an incredible film. Much like I really do appreciate The Sacrifice of Anton Stacy as a good character study short story. And that probably was the point, is to look at religion versus, like, Anton's happiness, and that he still has some faith, but, like, he's condemned or something like that. Like, I don't know. I'm talking a lot of nonsense here, but, like, I really did enjoy the character work in this, but the story is just, it's a little too lacking, so I can't give it higher. But the character work and the dialogue, like, it's superb. I mean, it's Christian Francis. I don't expect anything less than that. But, yeah. Anyway, it's weird. Still got a good score. So, anyway. Thanks again to Encyclopocalypse for sending this out. Join me next time as I review another Encyclopocalypse book, Sausages, The Making of Dog Soldiers.